Hello and welcome. We've got a pretty major development in the world of AI and education to break down today, and it could really change the way we all learn. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that might just blow your mind. Ready? 140 million. That's how many people are already turning to ChatGPT for help with math and science every single week. It has absolutely exploded as a learning tool around the globe. And that huge number brings us to today's headline. ChatGPT is rolling out a brand new feature, one that introduces dynamic, interactive, and visual explanations for these tough subjects. This is a really big deal.
So what does that actually mean? Well, the biggest thing here is that we're moving away from just getting a block of text as an answer. The goal is to make those tricky, abstract concepts, the ones that are hard to picture in your head, way more hands-on and easier to really understand.
But why build something like this in the first place? Well, the motivation behind it comes from a really common problem. A lot of people just don't feel confident when it comes to math and science.
I mean, let's be real. Why is math so tough for so many of us? It's a subject that can feel incredibly daunting, not just for students, but also for parents who are just trying to help out with homework. And look, this isn't just a feeling people have, there's real data to back it up. A recent Gallup survey found that more than half of adults in the US struggle with math. On top of that, a lot of parents feel like they just aren't equipped to help their own kids. That's a huge hurdle in education. So how is this new feature supposed to tackle that big challenge? Let's dive into what makes this new way of learning so interactive. The whole process is actually super simple. You ask a question, and you get a clear explanation, but with a new interactive visual. This is where the magic happens. You can actually grab and change parts of the formula, manipulate variables, and see, in real time, how it changes a graph or the final outcome. It's like turning a boring old equation into your own little science experiment. You know, the learning principle behind this is incredibly powerful. Research has shown again and again that this kind of interactive, visual learning helps build a much deeper understanding than just reading about something. When you can literally see the effect of your actions, the concept just clicks. And get this isn't some tiny, limited test. The feature is rolling out everywhere, all at once, with over 70 core concepts right from the start. We're talking about the big ones for high school and college students, like the Pythagorean theorem, Coulomb's law in physics, the one about electric charges, and even stuff like compound interest.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what's the real-world impact been like? Let's take a look at what some of the first people to test it had to say.
I really love this quote from Anjini Grover, a high school math teacher. She said what really stands out is how much the feature focuses on understanding the concept, not just memorizing it. It actually pushes you to think more and see how different ideas connect. That's what real learning is all about.
And that positive feedback seems to be coming from all sides. Students are saying it's way easier to see how variables affect each other. Parents have found it's a much more dynamic and helpful tool for homework. And teachers, like Mrs. Grover, love that it shifts the focus from just memorizing facts to actually understanding them.
So let's zoom out for a second and think about the big picture. What does a tool like this really tell us about the future of AI in education? What could the AI tutor of tomorrow really look like? This right here pretty much says it all. We're seeing a fundamental shift. We're moving away from the traditional model of just memorizing abstract formulas to a new world of experimenting with ideas and actually understanding them. It's the difference between being a passive listener and an active participant. And you should know this isn't just a one-off feature. It's part of a much bigger plan. The goal is to bring this interactive style of learning to even more subjects and to keep building out new tools, just like they did with things like study modes and quizzes. It really signals a long-term commitment to making AI a better learning partner. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As these AI tools get more and more sophisticated, more interactive, and more personalized, are we watching the next generation of the personal tutor being born? Definitely something to consider. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.